Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Point Fighter Live. I'm here with Mike Sawyer, and we're going to be talking about the U.S. Open. The biggest sport karate event in the whole world. Thanks for joining us. How you doing, Mike Sawyer? How's everything?
Doing real good, Alex. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, buddy.
Awesome, man. Awesome. This tournament is, it's an honor to be part of it as it's Point Fighter approved. It's been Point Fighter approved for quite a few years now, 4 or 5 years maybe. And
Yeah,
it's a tournament that I grew up wanting to win. Since I was a kid, and it's a great event. And this year it's going down July 4th through 6th, 2019 in Orlando. So this tournament has a lot of history. Let's talk about the history. I know that we've talked about it a few times. We talked about it in the last year's show, but just take us down to a little bit of the history of the event. Oh, Mike Sawyer, looks like we lost him there for a second. Let's see if we could get him back. And this tournament, like I said, it's an awesome event. That now it's July 4th through 6th, and man, I gotta say that's incredible. Like it lands on a great weekend because July 4th is a Thursday, right? So that's holiday, and then that's it, Friday and Saturday. So it makes sense, to stretch it out 3 days because it's a holiday already. So there's no work, there's no school. You could, and there's so much things going on at the event that here we go. We got Mike Sawyer coming on back. Let's see. I guess he got frozen there for a second,
yeah.
and
Something
but he's
interfered with it.
back.
I'm
Hey,
back. Hey, Alex.
yeah, you're back.
Okay, buddy.
It's okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's okay. It happens. Hey, I was just telling everybody, July 4th through 6th, right?
Mhm.
Is like it landed on a perfect days for the event because you were able to now stretch it out, the event, and you guys already have so many events and so many things going on, so it kind of, it doesn't take away from people's time too, because July 4th people are off, right?
Right,
Anyway,
right.
so now they have an extra day to compete. Um so that's a great thing. We're going to be talking about those events, but let's go back to the first question, the history of the U.S. Open.
Mhm.
I always like to hear this story. So go ahead. How did it all start?
Well, it's kind of a great story, Alex. I mean, you and your dad and your brother were all around back then. The tournament actually dates to 1973, and a guy named Ted Kresge in St. Petersburg started it as part of the old USKA circuit. It was called the East Coast Grand Nationals, and I used to compete in it. So did Mike McCoy. So did Corey Schaefer. We all used to compete in it. Your dad did. You guys as kids, and it was in St. Petersburg at Eckerd College. He moved it in 1980 over to the big event center, Bayfront Center downtown, and renamed it the U.S. Open. And then
Hmm.
uh, Ted joined a group that thought the world was going to end in 1981. So he just sold off all his possessions, and we were kind of running it for him at the time. So he just really, for a nominal sum, just said, "Here, you can have the U.S. Open." So we just took it over, and as soon as we started doing it, we thought, "Wow, this has just such potential." And we moved it immediately to Orlando, Orange County Civic Center, and then from there to Daytona. And the world didn't end in 1981. You probably know that. And
Yeah,
so
no, it didn't.
we've asked Ted Kresge to come back to the tournament, and he's actually contacted us a few times, and he's still around, but he's involved in something else. But it's a different U.S. Open, very
Hey, so
different
you
than it was
actually
then.
offered to bring them back too. That's pretty cool of
Yeah,
you
just
guys.
as a
Yeah,
guest, and so
yeah,
we've over the years, uh, people we've been involved with have been guests there. People that we've handled their martial arts appearances, Chuck Norris, Don Wilson, but Bill Wallace. A lot of people have come as guests, and maybe one of these days Ted Kresge will be back. Who knows? But that's how it all
yeah.
started, and we went to Orlando to Daytona for 4 years, back to Orlando, and eventually uh, ESPN. We we were doing so much kickboxing for them at the time in the 1990s. They said, "How about the U.S. Open?" And so we made a deal in 1998, and then they bought Disney bought ESPN, and they said, "Why don't you come over to Disney property?" So we've been at the Coronado Springs since 1999, and been on ESPN for
Since
22
'99.
years.
Yeah,
99.
since '99. Wow, man, time
Wow, doesn't
flies
seem
for
like
you.
that. That's 20 years we've been
I
at
remember when it was
Coronado.
at the Twin Towers, right in front of Universal,
Right,
right?
Sheraton
Like,
Twin
and
Towers.
then
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that was. But man, it feels like yesterday, but like it's been a long time already there. And the
yeah,
tournament, you know, it's like I said, July 4th through 6th now, and it's really an experience. You have to go there to experience it yourself. And it's one of a kind tournament, like I said. And then talking about experiences, July 4th it kicks off with the Paul Mitchell experience, right? And
right,
they've been doing this for a few years now, and that's how the tournament kicks off, right? July 4th, um,
right, right. Yeah, during the
10
day.
a.m.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell Experience is there's several different times on the website that you can register for the Paul Mitchell Experience. It'll be all of their top competitors will be teaching, and they're one of our top sponsors. We've had a close relationship with them for years,
Yes,
and they do a great job. Really, some good quality people on that team, and a lot of people can learn a lot from being there. So, Paul Mitchell Experience during the day on July 4th on Thursday, and then that evening. We decided, we just have so much on Friday and Saturday. We have to
yeah,
expand to a third day. And
yeah,
trying to do the teams on Friday really has been a problem the last few years because there's so many
yes,
teams and we have so many divisions of forms and all. I was when I sat down and looked at how many we were back up to because we cut it back a few years ago and now we're back to like 1,400 divisions of competition
wow,
and
1,400.
100,
Woo.
yeah, counting the sport MMA and all that. And I was just
Wow,
shocked. So I said, we talked about it, Mike and Corey and Jay and I, and we said we gotta move to Thursday sometime. And we almost did it last
yeah,
year. But then we said the
yeah,
perfect time is 2019
perfect.
when the
Yes,
4th of July is on Thursday. Everybody's got that day off. And
yeah,
if you've never been at Disney for 4th of July fireworks,
beautiful.
oh,
Yeah,
it's you can't see it anywhere. So what we'll do is, we start the team competition at 4, demo teams, synchronized forms, all the specialty events, handy capable
hmm,
forms, self defense, all of those things will be at 4 on Thursday. And Kasai, which is a professional grappling group, and ISK
yeah,
sanctions them. And they're sort of like kickboxing or MMA, but it's grappling. And they have
it's for grappling,
professionals. It's for grappling.
professional.
Hmm.
That's
So
so
they'll be
cool.
they really are, and they have professional grapplers. And when you watch them, it's watching a professional versus an amateur. It's really amazing. And they've been mostly up in New York, and we've been sanctioning them. And they wanted to come down and be part of the U.S. Open, so they'll be over on stage in the Coronado Ballroom while we're doing the teams over in the Veracruz room. And they'll be in the evening. It's about a 2 to 3 hour show, and it's really worth seeing. It's going to be streamed on Flow Sports, but you got to really see it live. It's
That's
just
great.
amazing.
So you
Yeah,
got a chance to like, do the seminars, compete in teams, and then you could check out the show. And then after,
right.
the fireworks are gonna be great in
Fireworks.
Disney.
Yep. Yeah,
Fireworks before the fireworks, right?
that's right. A whole night
So
of
hey,
fireworks.
yeah,
That's
man,
right.
that's what it is. The whole fireworks weekend. Hey, now ISKA sanction, NASCA World Tour,
Hmm.
Open World Tour.
Right.
It's all the sanctioning, all the top sanctioning bodies there are in the sport, and it's
Yeah.
a great event, guys. People come from all over the world, but not just that. Now there's you always have had events at the same time, but you got like this time. I mean,
Oh,
this is a full martial arts weekend.
yeah. This year
There's gonna
it's
be
all
people
there.
from every discipline there at the U.S. Open, so it's like, man, you guys really outdid yourselves. I don't know how you're gonna outdo
I,
this next year.
Alex, I didn't know how we were going to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Corey and Mike and I and Jay and Homan, we all sat down and said, how are we going to do this? We've got Kasai
Yes.
wanting to be there.
Yeah.
We've got Glory Kickboxing that ISK sanctions that they wanted to be there. We couldn't have them on site at Disney, but they're going to be a few miles away. They're going to be Friday night. Punak,
Yes.
that's a traditional group, kind of a WKF style of competition. They're very closely allied with Century. That's one of our big sponsors.
Yeah, Punok,
Punok,
right? That's like
Punok,
traditional, right? That's like the
yes,
traditional.
yes, traditional like NKF or WKF or WUCO,
Yeah,
and they've got a whole tournament that they'll
they're
be doing.
big.
They're
Yeah, they're
big,
big. They're
and
like the
so
U.S. It's kind of been like the U.S. Open size. When they think about traditional tournaments, it's been like compared to Open Tour, it's like kind of similar to that as far as size. But now it's all under one, right there with you
right,
guys. They're under
right,
the U.S. Open. Like, man,
and and
that's
and
huge.
you can cross compete too. I mean, when you're not competing in U.S. Open divisions, we're trying to time everything where you can
Wow.
compete in Punok. If you're really into traditional forms, weapons, traditional fighting, you can enter the Punok events.
So they could do
Kasai,
both.
it could do both.
Yeah.
Kasai, you can't enter because those are professionals only, just sort of
Yes.
like the ISKA World Championship Breaking,
Yeah.
invitation only. But Punok, everybody can compete in. New breed amateur grappling, that's going to be going
You be
on.
grappling. Yeah, it's really
New
big
breed.
too. I
Hmm.
have some students that compete in the New Breed League, and like it's very professional, great league
Yes,
for the
good guys.
grapplers out there, gi or no gi, and
Hmm.
they do everything first class. So it's
Yeah,
top
they're
notch.
great guys,
Yeah.
and they're going to be doing their event over in the Coronado Veracruz, and the ITF then is going to have their event
Yeah.
also. ITF
Taekwondo.
Championships.
Yeah.
Yep, the International Taekwondo Federation, and we've had an event there. People don't know much about it, but we've had the Caribbean Championships. And then it
Yes.
expanded. It used to be on Thursday night. Jason Mackay from Jamaica is on the board, and so this he just said, we just want to go big with it this year. So ITF is doing an entire event, and again, you can cross compete into that.
Wow.
So I mean, if somebody wanted to, they could
Wow.
come
They
and
could do
compete.
all these.
They could
Wow.
do all of them. And we have people competing in 10, 11, 12 divisions at just the US Open. And
Yeah.
now they can compete in that. They can compete in Punok. They can compete in New Breed. They can compete in ITF. They can
Woo.
do all of
Imagine
it.
somebody competes in all those things. That's like a true Iron Man. That's a true
that's,
mixed martial artist for real, right?
that's the kind of
That's
thing
like,
that you or your brother would do, Alex. You
yeah,
guys,
man.
you're the kind of guys that
Yeah,
would do
man.
something like that.
I won't be surprised if people take advantage of that. There
Oh,
are
yeah.
some people that
Oh,
do it
yeah.
all. There are some people that do it all, and you also got the the sport MMA too that you've been doing
Yes.
for years.
That's
John
gotten really
Morrison.
big, too. Yeah, John
Yeah, it's
Morrison,
gotten really
he's
big.
terrific.
Yeah, it's gotten really big. They have a few tournaments, but like at the U.S. Open, I had students there for that last year too. They really enjoy it. They're coming this year, and John Morrison runs that, and he does a great job with it as well. Hey, so
Yeah.
you also have um, other affiliations. That's a good thing about a big
Hmm.
tournament. You have to have, it's all about relationships, and you have good affiliations with it's not sanctioned, but you guys work together. You're
Hmm.
affiliated NMAC, the league, Pro-Am, Pro-Mac, FBBA, Blitz, all the biggest leagues out there right
Right.
now, that you're affiliated and you work with. And
All the ones
that's,
that do good stuff. All the ones that do good stuff. And you
yes.
guys with FBBA down there, Jeremy with Blitz, Tony Cattengill is going to be there this year. He and Sean Dumlau with the league. Of course, Mike Politti
Yes.
with NMAC is always there. Joey
Yeah.
Perry and Greg Ruth with ProMac, the Likers with Pro Am, and all of those regional circuits. We like to give as much publicity to as we can
Yes.
through the U.S. Open, through the kind of connections we have with the Open. It gives publicity to those groups that are doing a great job and are growing, and we feel honored that they're affiliated with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure. Man, it's great. Some great organizations right there. Hey, we were talking a little bit about the Friday, right?
Hmm.
There's going to be the Glory Kickboxing
Yeah.
there and Ross Levine. So people could actually go. That's at night on Friday.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
actually go. It's in Kissimmee. It's close by.
Right.
Um, and they could go out and watch Ross Levine fight out there, right?
Right.
He's going to be in
Right.
this
Yeah.
card.
He's going to be there, and they're going to be on the UFC Fight Pass, I believe. that
Oh,
Glory
it's
event's going to
gonna
be.
be in the UFC Fight Pass as
Yeah,
well.
on
Yeah.
the streaming
So if
service.
people
Mhm. They're
if
coming from
people
Silver
want
Spur over in
tickets,
Kissimmee.
yeah,
Mhm.
if people want to go get tickets for that, can they get it through the US Open website too, or
Yes,
it's
they
a
can
separate?
go right on the US Open website, and there's links to every different event that they can register for to compete, or they can buy tickets for to spectate. So you
Oh
can
man,
go
that's
right, do it
great.
all through the
And
US
they could
Open
also
site.
get Disney passes.
Disney passes,
You
we have
get
special ones.
everything.
Yeah, and Disney every year gives us special passes that are
Yeah.
more time wise. They're better for our people. Like you can get a 2 day
Yes.
pass, which you can't usually buy. You can get a half-day pass, park
Half
hoppers,
day.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just for US Open people. And of course, the hotel rooms, you can't beat that deal. I mean, $153 for a room that's 228 a night normally. And we
It's a
just,
super room too. They're
yeah, it
renovated, and
is.
like last year, I stayed in. I remember last year, man, I was like, wow, this room is
Yeah, I
incredible.
know. They really have redone the rooms. I mean, it's always been a
Yeah.
nice place, but it
Yeah.
was built by Disney to kind of support the Animal Kingdom park when they
Yes.
built that in the late 90s. So it was a little bit dated, but the last couple of years they've renovated all the rooms. It's
Yes.
2,000 hotel rooms, and we fill up like two-thirds of the places, just our people. And now, when you get there this year, it's going to be a big shock because there's a new restaurant that's out in the middle of the lake,
Oh
and
man.
it's called the Three Bridges Restaurant. And there's bridges
Whew.
going from the Casitas side, from the Rancheros side, and from the Cabanas side. There's bridges that go
Wow.
out to the restaurant in the middle of the lake. And then the new entrance to the Coronado, which is going to open actually on the Monday after the US Open, will be the grand opening. There's a
Okay.
huge new tower there that's 14 stories tall, and it's got 600 new hotel rooms in it. So
Oh,
there,
I saw them building that for last. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. Wow.
yeah, it's going to have a four-star restaurant
Hey,
up
so
on
there's still
top.
plenty of room to grow for the U.S. Open there,
Oh yeah.
right?
We're
I
going to have,
I was
soon
gonna
we'll
say,
have
man, you're gonna
2,500
outgrow
hotel
this
rooms.
place.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
thought that, you remember, Alex, when we first went there, the
yeah,
Coronado Ballroom was 65,000 square feet, and that was the biggest space. And we thought, oh, we can't ever fill this up. And within 2 years, we were overflowing, and we wondered if we were going to have to go back to the Civic Center. And that's when they built the Veracruz Room, which is 100,000 square feet.
yeah,
And now we fill up that, we fill up the Coronado, we fill up the
everything.
Fiesta, 200,000 square feet, and we fill up it all. And now with the hotel rooms, adding that, and that tower has like deluxe rooms with inside entrances and more suites. So, as we've had more to offer, the tournament keeps getting bigger. So, I think that there's no limit as to
Yeah,
how
and
big we'll
it's like
get.
you said, it's a great deal for the room. Like if you try to get that room, outside of the group discount, like you're gonna spend like like you said, three
Yeah, it's
hundred, and
it's well over. It's like 230 something or 228,
yeah,
235.
and discounts on the tickets as well. Like I,
Yeah,
I always go and get the half day pass, and it's like super cheap,
right.
and I end up
And
doing half a day because that's what I could fit in there. But
I know,
it's a
and
great deal.
it's a great
Yeah,
deal, and it's a great the way you can do it too, because like you can walk across the street to Blizzard Beach. It's right there if you want to go to the water park, and
yeah,
buses come around the Coronado, and buses come for Magic Kingdom, they come for Hollywood Studios, they come for Animal Kingdom. They'll pick you up, take you to Epcot, wherever you're going. These buses come
yes.
around and just pick you up. I mean, I have fun at my own tournament. I don't know how many promoters can say that. My family stays for an entire week, the Wednesday before to the Wednesday after. After the
Yeah, man.
tournament's over, we spend, 3 or 4 days just going to the Disney parks. We ride those buses out there, the parks, stay all day. And, it's
Hey,
so
that's
nice
that's
to
one of the
be able to
things
give
that it
back like
has.
this.
Yeah, the great competition, plenty of divisions, great awards, everything that you need, a family time, vacation time. Like, man, it has it all. There's some cool divisions that the tournament has too. Aside from all these tournaments, clash sparring is always exciting now.
Yeah.
It kind of brings a continuous and point together,
Yes.
and it's cool. I always like seeing that video with the Raymond Daniels and Jack Felton against the Corrali guys. That's like
Right.
super cool.
Right.
I think it's super exciting. And the sport MMA, which we talked
Mhm.
about already, that the rules are super cool. You stand up, stand up. You can't hit the face, but you can hit the body. And then once it goes to the ground, it's grappling. So it's a good
Mhm.
way. for people that are, want to maybe get involved with mixed martial arts. Now, it's on ESPN,
Mhm.
the media, right? ESPN. It's
Yeah.
gonna be live stream. It's gonna be
Mhm.
live on ESPN
Right.
two,
Live on the
ESPN three, right?
Right. It'll be live on ESPN3 from 5 to 6 is the pre-show, and we
Yes.
have like interviews as to what's coming up, and we have a few events on there, and then 7 to 10 will be live. And we do two best of shows. I mean, we've had the option of being live on ESPN2 with it, but we've opted instead to put on ESPN2 tape delay
Tape
two
delay. Yeah.
separate best of shows. Everything is streaming now, so
Yeah.
ESPN3 in the United States and territories, you can get all the ESPN platforms. So it'll be live on ESPN3, 5 to 6 and 7 to 10, and then um, a week after the Wednesday, the first day is the 17th of July, will be the first of the two ESPN highlight shows or best of shows. And those will mostly be the events that are from 8 to 9. And the second show will be mostly the events that are from 9 to 10. We kind of, set them
You're
that way.
highlighting a lot of people there too. I know you
Yes.
guys try to do the best you can to highlight. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, how about this? How about that?" But you
Right.
guys highlight a lot of disciplines up there. You put a lot of people that compete in the tournament on that stage, and you try to get it out there and highlight. That's one of the things I love about you guys. Trying to showcase everyone up there.
Right. Well, Alex, it's all about the athletes. It's all about those
Yes.
people that are really out there, as the saying goes, in the arena, with the blood and the sweat. It's really about them. They're the ones who put on the show. They are the
Yep.
stars of the show.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
we try to get as many of them on stage as we can, and then we try to get as many of them in the TV shows as we can. And
Yeah.
everything from 7 to 10, from 5 to 6, and then from 7 to 10 is live. But then when we have those highlight shows, we're able to go back, and if somebody's dropped their weapon or something, we can take that performance out, and we end up with them in something else. So if Sammy Smith, which she never drops from Nunchaku, but if she did, she might be. We might not show her performance in weapons, but we might show her in forms, because
Yeah.
she and Kenzie are back and forth. It's like in the top two women CMX forms and weapons in the world
Yeah,
is
Sammy is
has
amazing. They're
been
both amazing.
it's been
I know I
Sammy and
posted a
Kenzie now for
video.
4 years. Yeah,
Yeah, I posted a video of Sammy doing her nunchucks form, and it has like just a few weeks, like 40,000 views already. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
good, great performances, great performers there, and
And then
martial artists now.
in traditional, it's been Joey Castro and Ariel Torres against each other now for
Oh
like the
yeah,
last 3 years. And in
yeah,
weapons, the weapons is really a highlight, I think. The men's and the women's weapons are so cool, because in forms, there's only so many different techniques you can do. It's more how you do the form, and how you do what after what, and the intensity. But with a weapon, you can do so many different things. Like
oh man,
Reed
crazy stuff out
Presley's
there. Yeah,
his double his double bow looks completely different than Jackson Rudolph's single bow. And then the fighting that we have with the open weight, that's really changed things. Having open
yeah,
weight and having the way the teams fight now, it's just so much different, so much more exciting,
yeah.
and
No, yeah, and
it's
you've
it's
had
just a great show.
taekwondo up there, taekwondo fighting up there as well, and like that's great. And now sport martial arts is gonna be there as well.
Yes,
Black and Blue
yes,
Video, the
hmm
original guys that they
yeah,
always cover the event. Point Fighter, of course, and ESPN. That's really it's great. Now Point Fighter Live, after the event, we're gonna interview a few winners and highlight them on the show, and just
hmm
talk about it on the post show as well. And that's always exciting. Orlando, Florida, like I said, Disney World. We already talked about all this. The one of the greatest places to come to, Coronado Springs. Now, can they still book their hotel at the Coronado?
yes, yes. And you
They
can do
still have.
all of that on the website. There's links for it on the website.
Yeah.
You go right to, it'll take you right to the page to book the room, and there's still hotel rooms. They block out a huge number of rooms for us, and we're already at like a hotel. One night, one room is a room night, and we're already at 3,300 room nights, I think. But there's still rooms, so
With
get
Wally's
them now.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
Walter, you're
there's
the
Wally.
original,
Yeah,
man. Black and blue video.
yeah.
He's the original.
And I'll tell
I
you
love
what you
I love
guys have
it.
done, Alex. I mean, you with Point Fighter, Wally with Black and Blue, Emily and Mallory and Nick with Sport
Yeah,
Martial Arts. It's just brought martial arts, streaming everything out like you guys do, and the interviews and the highlights and the features that you put on about people. It really brings our sport out
yeah, it
there
does.
into the
Yeah.
mainstream. I mean, the guys at ESPN tell me that they watch the show, they go on social media, they see the stuff on there. That makes a real difference.
Yeah,
Our
it does.
athletes are
It
being
does, and we
accepted
need more.
now.
Yeah, we need even more. We need even more. It's not even, and we all support each other, and we're all, sport martial arts is great. Wally's great. Like, we need more of it. Hey, so let me ask you a question. How about
Mhm.
I know that last year, the year before, you guys kind of like did something with the underbelt. Was it underbelt grands or like on Friday?
Yes, yes. Friday
Like a
night
big
is we've always called Saturday night the night of champions because it's
the
some
night of
we
victory, right?
that Friday night is the night of victory, and
Yeah,
Saturday night is the pro world championships for
yeah.
ISKA. Some of them cross over into the NASCA Grand Championships for a 6A tournament. It's the same people, and so some of it will
Mhm.
double up as being that and the ISK Championship. Sometimes it's completely separate. We run them off during the day for the NASCA, uh, and then we have the defending champion plus the top ranked people Saturday night for the ISK World Championships. And that's, annual. And it's the World Championships for the Open World Tour. So all the
Yeah.
tournaments that are on that tour contribute people to that. So that's Saturday night. Then Friday night is the Black Belt Amateurs, the Black Belt Single A,
And
and
again,
the Under Black
highlighting the
Belts,
athletes,
and we're highlighting
highlighting
the
the
athletes.
yeah,
And SMA is going to stream that out live, and it's from 7 to 9
awesome.
on Friday night. And Charlie Lane, Alex Lane, and John Lane, Woody Thompson, the guys from Texas, they do a great job on organizing that show on Friday night and getting it on. And so you can, win world championships also in every belt rank and age division.
Isn't
And
that
so it
great?
gives
That's
people
great.
something to really go
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
brings more
That's
to
one of
it.
the things that we were talking about on one of the subjects the other day about underbelt grants and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
like highlighting them. And I think it's good, you give it to them, and then on a separate time. And I think it's good. It's a great way to motivate. And then
Mhm.
another great way to motivate is the prize money, right? You guys give out a ton of
Yeah,
prize money.
yeah.
thousand
It's a
dollar
lot of prize money.
grants. It's a
Yeah.
lot of prize money there. So, you could check all that out on the website.
Mhm.
You win money in division for grants. It's well over $15,000, and
Yeah, it's
it's
up over 20,000 now.
or more,
We've
20,000,
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
more than 20,000. Just
It
today
keeps
we were
going up. Yeah.
yes, yes, and we give it the same amount of money for women's divisions as the men, and we give the most money in the team events. I think or the same
That's
as
another
anybody does on the
subject
tour.
today that we
Yeah,
were talking
I
about
saw
women.
you'd had that on
Yeah.
Point Fighter. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's great.
I think
Hey,
women
and
should get the same. Yeah, I do.
yeah, that's a good subject there. But women give it. Doris Brothers is doing the awards again,
Yes,
right? And
yes,
do a
hmm
great job
they do.
with the awards. The
Yeah.
Doris Brothers, they're like the godfathers of the awards, and it's a great thing. And we're also got the power ring that we're giving away. I'm trying. Actually, Doris Brothers sponsored it too, and we give out a power ring to an MVP of the event. Maybe somebody that
Ah,
does a
cool.
bunch of
Yes.
divisions could get it. One person in the whole tournament is gonna get this ring, so that's very cool. Hey, so the event, they still could register for it too and
Yes.
save a little, right? It's like
Yes.
coming
Until
down to the
Jill.
final,
Yeah, it is because
this time.
we it's coming down to the final wire. We start this year. We started in September. Next year, or last year we started in September to register for this year. This
Yeah.
year we're going to actually start in August to register for 2020. So we're a year-round event. You can register all year round, and the discounts
Yes.
start in the fall. And now it's coming down to the last, the kind of the home stretch, and you can still get 10% off until July 15th. Or, I'm sorry, till June 15th, midnight.
Till June
It's 10%
15th.
discount.
Yeah.
It's 10% discount till June 15th. And then I believe it's 5% until we go to the on-site price.
On-site price, yeah.
Yes. Now, if you have groups that are 10 or more, we have groups as many as 120 or more. But if you're anywhere between 10, like there's a
10 or more.
10 plus, there's a 15 plus, there's a 25 plus, 50 plus, 75 plus.
Oh, that's
And if you have
cool.
groups
50
like that,
years.
then you
Yeah.
get a code. And as you add people into your group, then your discount, keeps getting bigger. So once you hit 50 people, you got the 50 plus discount. You hit 75, you have the 75 plus discount. If you have 20, 15, and you hit 25, then you're at the 25 plus discount. So those people are still adding people to their groups,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so we don't know how many people are going to be there. But
That's
whatever
awesome,
it
man.
is, we can handle it. I mean, the system we
But
have
that's
is
great that you offer
it's like
that.
a
And
machine.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's open to all styles, ranks,
Yes.
ages.
Open tournament.
It's open to everybody, whether you've never been to a tournament before. It doesn't matter. Sometimes people get intimidated. Oh, it's such a big tournament, but you got to offer divisions for everybody, even
Yeah, we
for
have that
people that
first
are just
timers
getting
division
started.
now.
Yeah, first timers.
First
Yes.
timers divisions for people that have never been to a tournament before too.
Yeah,
So
exactly. People used to be like, "Oh, the U.S. Open, I won't take them there until they're ready." But they're ready now. They're ready
yes,
if they just started sparring or ever doing the
yeah,
forms. You could take
something
them.
for everybody.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
something for everybody, and it's a great way to experience. It's an experience, like I said. And hey, now we got to give a shout out to some of the sponsors, like you said, because they help a lot with the
Yes.
production and all that. Paul Mitchell is one of them,
hmm
and
Paul
they've
Mitchell's
been
been
around.
our main broadcast sponsor
Yeah.
for 22 years, and they're just tremendously supportive. And I don't know what we would do without them. They're the best.
Yeah, they've
They
been
just
great for the sport.
they
It's
have
it's
John Paul
yeah,
DeJoria and Julie Solwald. I mean, they just Steve Babcock. They
yes,
were just visionaries. Donnie Rodriguez. They could see where this could go with television, and so Paul Mitchell's been a huge sponsor, and now Century has come in very big,
yes,
and
Century
Century's
as
doing a
well.
great job.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Century's giving a lot to the sport as well. It's always great to see companies giving back like that, especially martial arts companies. And like Paul Mitchell is a corporate sponsor. That's like we need more of those in the sport. And then sent a mega martial arts company, and they're giving back, so that's good.
Yeah.
Corporate sponsors and martial arts companies like that. That's great. So that's why I have to give a shout out to them because it makes the sport better and it helps the U.S. Open get everything on TV, right?
Right,
And
right. Those are
yeah,
the two big broadcast sponsors. We have some other sponsors too, but those two
yeah.
come in as
There's a bunch of
broadcast
other
sponsors.
sponsors as well.
Yeah, they'll have TV commercials on during the shows, Century and Paul Mitchell, and they help support the production. So
Hey, let's
it's
give a shout out to the production team, of course, but like you got a great team that it takes a big team to do a tournament like this. It's not just
oh yeah,
it's not my Sawyer. I mean, it's you, Sawyer, McCoy, Schaefer. You guys are like the three-man team there, but you also got a bunch of people that help run it and have their own thing that they got to
oh
do,
yeah.
their own jobs. Any shout outs you want to give? I know it's gonna probably a huge list, but
Oh, it's so many. I can't even. I mean, our team is just so good, and
yes,
our director of operations, Jay Boatwright, director of
boat
logistics,
right, yeah.
Homom Adam Elkadi.
So many behind
Those
the scenes
guys.
guys, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
there are. There's so many people that just do such a good job, and there's so many people outside even of our main organization that come in just for the event. Like I was talking about the Lane family.
Yeah.
Murray Lamb and Mike Smith have always been there for us out on
Yeah,
the
for
floor.
real.
Terry Creamer, and
Yes.
you on the organizing committee know what these guys do, Alex. I mean, it's so much that they do for
A
everybody that
lot.
I can't thank them enough. And the guys from other organizations that are coming in too. Like I said, Tony Cattengill and Sean Dumlau from the league.
Yeah.
Roy
Yeah.
Baker, who's the WACO president now, is
Yeah,
a great
Roy.
friend of
Yeah.
mine. Roy's coming in for the
Yes.
whole week. Roy helps out with everything, and his Irish Open, of course, is on the Open World Tour as
Yeah,
well.
Ray Bryant,
Ray
Jeremy
Bryant has been
Roque.
one
These
of our
guys are
biggest
like,
sponsors. Jeremy, I'll
yeah.
tell you what, Jeremy and Ray are two of the hardest working guys I have ever
Yes.
seen. I mean, you
Yes.
walk in, everybody will be over Friday night at the night of victory, watching uh, watching the under black belts and black belt amateur world
Yes.
championships. And Jeremy and Ray Bryant will still be over in that Veracruz room.
Yeah.
Until everything is
True.
done, you can't get those guys off the floor.
They don't stop till it's done too. So like that's
That's right.
great.
The
And
whole
it's
NASCA
a
board
great,
too. I got to thank Larry
yeah,
Carnahan
NASCAR
and
board.
Greg
Yeah.
Ruth, Dennis Brown, Muhammad Jahan Bosch, your dad, Manny Reyes,
Yeah.
uh, Chris and Don Rodriguez, Bob and Jarrett Leiker, Mark Russo, Joe Greenhall. I mean, everybody from that whole group, Aaron Hensley. I mean, everybody comes in and helps out. And,
Yeah.
all they don't ask for anything. We take care of them, but, they don't, they're so valuable, they can't be replaced. And we
Yeah.
just thank everybody
True.
so much for their help. And you too, Alex. I mean, you are, what you do with Point Fighter. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's tremendous. It's really
Yeah,
good.
man. Thank you. Hey, so it's gonna be a great event. You don't want to miss it. You could still make plans. You still could get your room. You could still register. And it's Orlando, Disney, Florida. You're gonna have a great time there. It's gonna be a great tournament. You don't want to miss it. All right. You could watch it from your house, from the streams and TV, but
Right.
it's better to be there live,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
In
Yeah.
person. So don't miss this tournament. And we'll see you there in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I'll be there. You can bet on that. And I just invite everybody, come on in on Wednesday, come in on Thursday. Action starts Thursday with the Paul Mitchell experience, and the event's Thursday night. So, you got a whole weekend of fun. And on Sunday is Park Day. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
all
Yes,
come and
sir.
have a
Shout
great
out to
time.
all the volunteers, like Aisha said. Hey, I hope everybody has a great day and don't miss this tournament. Power Baby US Open, July 4th through 6th, 2019.